Oh, no, 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 no.
So long, Bowser.
What's going on, people? Guns Blazing back at it again, and today we do a bit of trolling in DC Cup. Winter Cherries and Token Collector coming off the bench. Now, this is not something I really recommend, especially if you're serious about DC Cup Stage 2, but there's enough Auroradon players out there where this is not too bad, well, at least in terms of farming content. Now, the thing I like about Token Collector is that they can't really counterplay it. They're not going to have a copy of it in their deck to use cross out, and they can't use Called by the Grave because it's going from your hand to your field. And yes, today I'm pairing it up with Sky Strikers, so boo-hoo Striker haters, but all these nibs and token collectors I'm running really get in the way of my Evil Twins combo, since the board does need to be cleared to do the full Evil Twins combo, but Sky Striker doesn't really mind the extra bodies, since you can just make them into a Zeke or an Anaconda. Anyways, I play this one a bit conservatively, not using my Engage just yet. And the other thing about Token Collector, you can reuse it from the grave. This guy ends up called by the graving it, but man, that value. This man gobbles the tokens like some of y'all gobble booty. I can just picture this guy's already in the graveyard, you see? And then a token comes out, he's like, oh, what's that? A token? Alright, get me back in there, I'm coming back from the dead. Gobble that boy up. Anyways, Danglong comes out. I don't want this to pull any traps from the deck, so I'm gonna Widow Anchor this widowed wanker. But at this point, the ball's in my court. I can pretty much do whatever I want here. I'm just going to clear his board with my jamming waves and afterburners. Kagari's going to come out. It's going to get me my Engage again, and I'm going to use that to pick up Widow Anchor. And I could go like access code here through Link Climb package, but instead I do something very original, which is I go Anaconda into my DPE. I might go ahead and just put a patent on this combo. But yeah, nothing else happens in this duel except me winning. And yes, don't worry. Winter Cherries put in some work too tonight. We ended up betraying our #1 waifu deck tonight, the Evil Twins. And we gotta be very sneaky with it. I wanna get my Maxi out first to eat a Called by the Grave if there is one. And we got him. And now we Winter Cherries the Kisa kill. It banishes all three, by the way, so Kisa kill combo is gone. And also Trouble Sunny can't really do much either. Now usually they scoop by this point, but they still do have the Zeus route as an option. And so that comes out after a while. I tried to ash the whole thing from happening, but he still managed to get it. Sky Cavalry Centaurea into Downward, into Zeus, 4 mats. And it's kind of scary, but I do have the Engage in hand, meaning I can just pick up afterburners. But here I'm going to go Token Collector first to jab step the Anaconda coming out. Then I just use a Fusion Destiny from my hand. Get DPE out. He doesn't bite on popping his Zeus right away, so I'm just gonna force him to do it with this Widow Anchor. And the only reason I use Fusion Destiny first here is because it was the 3rd spell in the grave, and so Engage will get 2 cards. So of course, this is all to dodge the Zeus from sending my DPE into the grave, because of course Zeus sends, it doesn't destroy, and if DPE doesn't get destroyed, it can't revive, and so that's our win condition, and we managed to get it. Alright, back to the boy, Token Collector. This guy managed to get in multiple times this duel. Auroradon comes out, the juicy 3 tokens come out, and it's time. And here we also had the option to nib, but it's better to Token Collector because I can just crash the Collector into the Auroradon. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I forgot about that. And that's why I set a Called by the Grave, which actually ended up becoming a grave mistake because I could have just used it on this Ash. But since I didn't have it, I had to use a cross out. And then I can't use cross out for something like nib. And yes, I did have a second nib in the deck. And here we go, the Nibiru comes out. Oh, and a token comes out. There's some tokens coming out. There's a Rite of Aramasir token. And Token Collector was just sniffing that out. So he comes back. That's actually quite useful because he gets a body on the board to protect me for a turn. And takes away the 2000 beater from him. And of course, this matters in the long run because I did brick for a couple of turns until this one where I finally picked up Live Twin Lilla. And after I summon this, another little PayPal dispute ensues, but I end up coming out on top, of course. And of course, as we are able to full combo, we're also going to take full control of the board here. Swing over the nib here, get 2 more pot shots in with Lilla and Kisa kill, and all is looking swell. Then my boy, of course, tries to get his Chow Feng out using an O-Lion. O-Lion's token comes out, my Token Collector jumps on it, and he's had enough of that Token Collector. Alright, this one was against Adventure Prank Kids. And I have him max seed, so he's not gonna do too much this turn. He's just gonna get his adventure stuff popping. And then come my turn, I pick up the Winter Cherries, and oh boy, Oh boy, am I gonna have a cherry good time with you. I go ahead and banish Meow Moo, that's their level 1 Link, which is very core to their entire combo. Of course, I have still a bunch of adventure stuff here on the board to deal with. He ends up negating the Hayate, but I do have the Fusion Destiny available here, so I'm just gonna use that and pop the Faithful Adventure. Dracoback's gonna come out, gonna try to bounce my DPE, and he's gonna succeed because he does have the Imperm. So bye-bye DPE, nice knowing ya. Link Spider comes out, he's going into Predaplant. I have Nib available here, but I'm just gonna use the Forbidden Droplet here. What was the thought process? I don't know. Honestly, I don't. But we managed to pick up Engage, and that's pretty much gonna win us the game, except he Ash Blossoms it. So I have the option to summon my Max C here, get the Celestial 2 draw, get a Terraforming, see if we can do a little fishing with the Area 0. Area 0 bricks, but that's okay. The Crash gets my Rose back onto the field. How nice of her to drop by, even though she's just released a single. And he's gonna scoop after this because I have full control now. All in all, there is much fun to be had with these hand traps, but again, for competitive, I don't recommend this. It makes so much more sense to just run generic hand traps or even just more nibs because at least they're more generalizable. Of course, the glaring weakness is not every deck uses tokens and not every deck uses their extra deck, including like Flu, Eldritch, and those are some pretty popular decks right now. But as I said, you know, there's enough Hulk Sword Soul players running around that if you just stick a token collector or 3 in there, you're bound to tilt someone if that's what you're going for. And surprisingly, the Striker variant I played with the token collectors and the Winter Cherries actually had a pretty good win rate so far in stage 2. And again, it would be a little better if you used better hand traps. But anyways, here's how it's set up. There's not too many Winter Cherries targets here. We don't really have enough space to run every single Winter Cherries target ever. But since we naturally run Anaconda ourselves and Hulk, we only really need to add like Meow Moo and an Evil Twin. Also, keep in mind, when you use it, it doesn't banish your own extra deck. Only theirs. Anyways, last one for the day. Any VFD breakers, huh? Any true king breakers? We have the Imperm and we have the Ghost Ogres, so we've got step 1 taken care of, which is just draw the out. Of course, he's gonna try to pull a fast one by doing it in the standby, and I'm just gonna chain Imperm to it. He's gonna chain Chuche to get rid of it so that Imperm cannot negate it, but I take care of the Chuche with the Ghost Ogre. Now I have nothing to worry about. I can freely use my secret password. This baits out the Ash. Then I go Sunny Snitch, pick up Kill. This is an extra layer of protection because I do have the blue extender in my hand, just in case he Veilers me, but anyways, we're gonna be able to clear his board right here and now. And by the way, if you didn't know already, the way VTubers deal damage is either through catfishing or malicious comments. Oh, and doxing. So that's why it's worth 1,100 and 3,300 points of damage. Looks like little boy still has some fuel up his sleeve. He got the VFT back in the extra deck and revived his Shen, of course, but I'm gonna take this opportune time when he's trying to increase the level of this level 6 to level 9 to destroy it. Still have the Ash available for another monster, and he ends up pulling Monster Reborn and winning the duel. Not